Okay, the purpose of a style sheet is to give your pages color and style. That's why it gets its name. So in Notepad++, if you'll all open up your assignment number 5, I'm just going to run and just do a recap of what each of your pages should look like. Is that all right? But when I look at your home page, everyone, when I check this off as A5, it should have your favorite things, and it should have your least favorite things, and it should not be questions. It should be answers. When I go to family page, there should be 4 photos at least of your family. And they should be equal in size. I purposely would need to go edit this photo number 2 in Photoshop to make sure, or change the width and height so it matches my other images. Okay? And then all there is a navigational bar on the bottom. I'm going to go to my hobbies page. On your hobbies page, we picked our favorite hobby, put the image up on top. Then we made an unordered list. Then we added 4 images. Make sure they too are equal in width and height so they look well together. When you get to your school page, you should have the school logo. You should have a link to Utah Valley University to display you know how to do that link. You should have created a table. And this table should not be my schedule, it should be yours. So when I reviewed yesterday, so much of the information was about me. This isn't about me, this is about you. Make sure you alter this so that it is about you. Okay? When you get to your work page, the purpose of this page particularly is the information you gathered here for your work page is going to be part of your bio on your final portfolio when we create your actual website. This will give you content to actually display in your bio, because that's always been a weak part of the personal portfolio at the end. So we've created digital media skills, we've listed work experience and accomplishments, and I don't know if I did this with you. I would strongly suggest adding an unordered list here with accomplishments, award, and certificates. Part of being a freshman in whatever you've chosen for your career, because not all of you are digital media, is somehow in order to get work experience you need to get hired. But in order to get hired you need to have work experience. Isn't that true? And how do you get that? The only way to really get valuable work experience is to actually prove as a student that you received awards, certificates, accomplishments throughout your career as a student that is valued as work experience. So here's a great place when you're doing your bio for your final portfolio is to actually make a list of things that you've accomplished as a student. May I share a few examples of that? You could list that you had 100% attendance in your DGM 1110 course. Those of you who've never missed a class here at UVU, that is so impressive to me. I think about if I were interviewing you, that would be so important to me that you could say that. I would hire you over somebody who had straight A's because I know you'd be on the job trying to figure it out. If you've won a Hall of Fame, first place, second place, and you can actually give a description of what you won, it shows that you're accomplishing in a room full of 30 people something of your project was worth announcing again. Does that make sense? Some of you have a full ride scholarship. Very impressive to those of us interviewing you for jobs. You may not have work experience, but it tells me that you qualified with a scholarship. If your GPA is worth mentioning, mention it. If it's not, don't. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's the way I see it. And for me personally, and I would ask other professors, a 4.0 is important, but it's not as important as not only are you a 4.0 student, or maybe you're a 3.5 GPA student, but you also participate in track. You're involved in extracurricular activities that are building your leadership qualities. Does that make sense? the balance of all of it is almost more important than a straight A student, because it shows that you have a love for life and a zest for other things than just education. And I would ask other professors, they may feel differently, but for me, when I hire for my own company and when I bring in people that work for us, those are the things that we value more. So I like this. Will you add that to your work page, accomplishments, certificates, and awards? See if that helps you. Okay, then each of you are going to pick one new page. Notice that these are in alphabetical order: family, hobby, school, and work. When you go to add your new page, fit it in there alphabetically, okay? Because that's how this has been going. You must add it to every page. It's obviously a cut and paste or copy and paste, but make sure you do that strategically the correct way. Okay, let's go add some color. How do we do that? We're going to actually create what's known as the style sheet. If you'll all do File, New, we'll begin. A style sheet for this class is actually external. The name of this has to be the exact name that I'm telling you because we're going to link it to this name. So we're all going to do a File, Save As, and we're going to go in and we're going to call this My Styles. Make sure you spell this correctly. It's MYSTYLES. And we're going to change the type from an HTML to style. If you click on the format where it says the type, click down, you will find a CSS. It's Cascade Style Sheet. Can you see that? That's what they're known as. The extension is .css. Can you all find that? Make sure you save it as that and go ahead and hit save. Now if you'll just all look at each other's, you should see that up the tab up there should say mystyles.css. Yes? Now this isn't written in the same format or code that HTML is written. We're going to use what's known as the curly brace. If you hold on to your shift key, that's how you will get this curly brace. First though, we have to identify all the tags we want to alter. So just do this with me and I'll explain it as we do it. We're going to start with the body tag. Okay, here's a curly brace, everyone. If you hold on to your shift key and instead of getting a bracket, you're going to get the curly brace that looks like that. This curly brace identifies all the things that we want to change. Okay, so in the body tag, you're going to put in the curly brace and we're going to just change different things. Go ahead and press enter. Here's the first one we're going to change. We're going to change the background color. Here is the style, the actual style for that. You're going to type in the word background, then you're going to hyphenate color, then you're going to do colon, and then you're going to pick a color. To keep it simple for right now, choose colors we know: red, blue, black, purple, teal, silver, fuchsia, brown. I'm going to do teal, and you can change this. You can also change it to a hexadecimal number. So you could type in at Google web colors, and then all of them will come up with colors. If you're unsure, just do teal, and then you can change it when you feel more comfortable as you look up those colors. Go ahead and press enter. Inside the body tag, I'm also going to change the text color. To do that, I'm just going to type in color, because I'm in the body tag and it knows that that's what it is. I'm going to change my body color, body text color, to silver. If you'll go ahead and press enter, I'm going to close all of the changes I wanted to make on the style sheet to the body tag. Okay, now we're going to change. We're going to do all of the styles we want for heading number 1. So everyone type in H1 because we have that on our page, right? Okay, open up the curly brace. Now let's go tell it all the attributes we want to alter on this style sheet for heading number 1. One of them is that we want the text to align. Here is the style to do that. Text hyphen align colon center. Okay, now my heading number 1 has moved to the center. Not only do I want to do that, but I want to change the font size. And I'm going to make it 72 pixels. And I'm going to change the color of my heading number 1s to purple. Okay, whatever color if you're doing brown, you could do orange. If you're doing red, you could do yellow. Huh?
Can we change them later?
The menu?
Can we change them later? Okay.
Yes, you can change them after. Okay. Put a color in there now though, so at least you can see that it's changed. Okay? So those are the only 3 attributes that we're going to change for heading number 1. Go ahead and turn it off with the closing curly brace. They come in a pair, just like they would if it was HTML. The next thing we're going to change is heading number 2, because we have a lot of those, right? So we're going to take heading number 2, open the curly brace, and let's go and identify the ones we want to change here. I'm going to change my heading, because it works on my page, for the heading number 2 to pink. You may not like that, so think about your color scheme, and you can go ahead and change it. And I'm also going to change the font size to 50 pixels. A little bit smaller than heading number 1, but I can change them. Those are the only 2 things I'm going to change on heading number 2. I'm not moving heading number 2 to the center. I'm leaving those at the left, but they are a little bit smaller than heading number 1. Now, if you'll just do a shift curly brace, you've just done all the attributes or styles for heading number 2. We have one more. We're going to do heading number 4. The only reason we have a heading number 4 is for the navigational bar, right? The navigational bar, I purposely put in a heading number 4. This one, I actually want to line it. It's text hyphen align colon center semicolon. So what we're saying is I want you to take that text and I want it to go into the center. And then we're going to just change the font size. Make it fairly small. And we're going to make it 16 pixels. And then turn off the squiggly. There are many other things you could add to the style sheet, okay? And all it is identifying the name of the tag, and then in the curly braces, you putting in the CSS. The place you're going to go to actually do and learn, because you have to add one new thing, is to w3schools.com. They have a CSS tab, and you can just go in there, and this is you. Wow, I don't have Kim. Can I do that? Do I know how to do that? And you're going to go in and write your own code, okay? I know what we put together. You just have to add one new thing. Okay, we're going to do another file save because we've added more to our style sheet. Now here's my style sheet, but how do I tell my pages to do that? Okay, that's step number 2. You can't just assume, well, I created the style sheet, there you go. Nope, you have to, there's one more step. So I'm going to open up my index page. And on my index page, I've already got the code here, and I'm going to leave it. After your opening head tag, the only way that you know your style sheet is attached, it's like taking a paper clip and attaching this to it. It is applied right after the opening head tag. Here is, and let me just explain it to you and then you can key it in. The tag to link it is link. For the first time, it's actually a word that means something. It's link. And what are you linking? It's known as a relative, and it is called a style sheet. The other attribute, what kind of a style sheet is it? Because there's different kinds. This one is a text/CSS style sheet. And what's the reference? Hypertext reference equals, this is the exact name that we named it. Yesterday, my student had lots of them came up with a totally different name than mine. You have to match it. So whatever you saved your styles as, you need to give it. Do you have to use my styles? No. You could have called it Kim Styles. You could have called it 1110 style. I mean, it doesn't matter the name as long as this name right here, mystyles.css, matches whatever you give reference to. Okay? Then there's a space /. It must be right after the header tag. It does not interfere with the title or the body tag. It is a point of reference, and what happens is the instructions, when the browser goes and gets the instructions, all of a sudden it gets to the header tag and it says, whoa, before I load this page, I've got to go and get this style sheet so that the page has color. Now I'm going to save it, File, Save, because I've added this new part. Once it's saved, I'm going to select it all from link to the end. I'm going to do Edit, Copy, and now I'm going to go to my family page. So I'm going to do File, Open. I'm going to open up my family page. Does my family page have it? No. So I'm going to go right after my head tag, click right there, and I'm going to do Edit, Paste. Now do you have it? Yes. Now do File, Save. Now I'm going to go open up my Hobbies page, which you probably already have open. It too, I'm going to go right after my opening head tag. I'm going to paste again. Edit, Paste. Now I'm going to save. I'm now going to go to my school page. Going to open up my school page. Right after the opening head tag, I'm going to do Edit, Paste. Then I'm going to save. File, Save. And then I'm going to go to my work page, and I'm going to go right after the opening head tag. I'm going to do Edit, Paste. You only have to copy once. It's dropped into a buffer. You do not have to do that again. Now what happens if I forget to put the style on the style sheet on the page? What would happen?
It won't change.
I won't have any color.
Yeah.
Okay? So now everyone go to your index page, and here's the test. I've saved it with my style sheet. So I go up here and run, and voila. Please have color, any kind of color. Doesn't even have to match, but you should have color. And because I've linked my style sheet on every other page, I now have this color, universal through all of my pages. Yes, you want the same kind of colors, right? Or if you want to change them, you could have my styles 1, my styles 2, and I could go through red, white, blue, or I could alternate. I could do silver and make my text teal. You can have a variety of style sheets. If that's really interesting to you, knock yourself out. You can do that. But for me, it can be very simple. It's the idea of it.